All right, everybody. Once again, we are back. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to this young lady, man. She number one has completely impressed me. Just hearing her story that she's going to tell you, the raw of wholesaling, going from not knowing, going from being scared to being super successful in wholesaling. And I'm really, really excited to bring her story to you guys because I really want you guys to understand the whole process, right? And I can't really think of too many people better than Zenobia to talk about the process of like being fearful, just not really understanding what the how wholesaling worked, to just being uber successful. So once again, man, so thankful for you coming on, Zenobia. Can you tell everybody like who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Zenobia. I just started wholesaling a little bit over like 7 or 8 months ago. I went to a real estate meetup actually, and I signed up for the wholesaling course that night, and I started the videos immediately because, all of my skepticism went out of the window. I was ready to start making the money. I was actually, what I ended up doing was doing a lot of research. I was looking up different ways to make little door hangers. I was driving around, driving for dollars, hours at a time. Doing my post-its on the door. I found a template online. I ran it through Tommy. He was like, just stop being scared, because I was so scared to walk up to doors. I was so scared to make phone calls. And within the first few days of me putting up my signs, somebody called me. They called me and I was so scared. I was like, oh my God. I put them on hold and I called Tommy like, yo, I don't know what to do. What I do. I was so scared. I did not know what to do. So Tommy kind of babied me. He held my hand through the first deal.
Well, hold on before we get to that point, because you skipped a little part right here. I want to talk about this part right here. So you were in the course. I think you had gotten the course for about maybe 2 or 3 days, right? And then you called me up and you're like, Tommy, like the course is good, but man, it's a lot of information. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can do this thing. That's really you're a little skeptical about.
Yeah. Man. I think it was new to me. So, I was so eager to make the money. It was overwhelming. I said, there's too many courses, there's too many videos. I was like, this is too much information to take in at one time. And I was just so ready to just quit. I wanted to just give up because I was like, it's not coming to me as quickly as I wanted to. Like I was stressed. I was really stressed about it.
And I don't know if you remember what I told you. I said, listen, people go to school for 4 years to learn how to become an engineer. They don't go to it for 2 days, and those engineers, most of them only making $100,000 to $150,000, maybe $200,000 a year. You're about to get into a profession where you could do $100,000 a month, and you've only been in it for 2 or 3 days. So don't beat yourself up if it's overwhelming for you right now. And that very next day, what happened?
The very next day, someone called me and was like, hey, I saw you put something on my door about buying my house. And I wanted to follow up and figure out what was going on. Like literally 24 hours after that conversation that we had, literally. And I was excited. I was like, oh my God,
Of course.
I was excited. So, following up with that, it was, my first deal was so stressful. It really was, but it was worth it. And it was really stressful. I had a really good seller too. I was grateful that my seller was so understanding throughout the process. I walked with them through it. I made the offer. I was really afraid to even make the offer. I thought they weren't going to accept my offer at first. So I was pacing back and forth. You should have seen me pacing back and forth in the living room. Like, okay. I hope they accept it. And they did. They accepted my offer. I sent them the contract on DocuSign, sent it right back. And, I was looking for, I ended up looking for title companies and all of that stuff. And it was I was excited through that process. Then I bumped into another bump in the road with my buyer.
Buyer. Because I like hearing, and I like people telling about the problems. This was a big deal. right here. So guys, pay attention to this. Go ahead.
So I bumped into a little problem with my buyer, or who I thought was a buyer. So I had a person who claimed to be a buyer, and they were saying they were going to come look at the house and, you know, take their own pictures. Even though I took my own pictures and sent them out, they wanted to come and take their own pictures. Well, when that person, you know, supposedly showed up, it was a whole nother person coming to look at the house. And that person was like, oh, so-and-so sent me here to look at the house. So all in all, it was like basically another wholesaler trying to get the deal from around me, and basically JV without even asking me, could we JV? Instead, he pawned himself off as a buyer just to get the information to the house. He was showing up to the house, you know, harassing my sellers, trying to offer them, you know, different amounts, trying to get the deal from around me. It was really tough, but I had really good sellers who were willing to, you know, say, hey, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't look right. I'm working with a really good person. I'd rather just stick with this person. Even all the way to the end, it was just a problem with that buyer.
So that is a testament to, again, we keep saying it sounds like a broken record, but building rapport with your sellers and your buyers, really. But in this particular case, you built such a good rapport with your seller by being honest, being upfront, being straightforward with them and telling them everything. A lot of times, especially new wholesalers, they're afraid to tell their sellers that they're wholesaling, right? Yeah. And we always talk about not saying the word wholesaling because there's so many bad wholesalers out there that there's normally a negative, like a bad taste in their mouth with the word wholesaling, but it's how we structure the conversation.
Right. So I basically just let them know that I am an investor, but for this deal that I was working with other investors to help them find investment properties.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, that made them more comfortable. Like, well, she's not just saying she's going to purchase my house, you know, and then they come to find out you're not the one purchasing it. That makes it kind of look bad on your end. So
absolutely,
being upfront from the beginning really helped me out. I think what I should have done was kind of interview my buyer a little bit more too. I feel like I should have asked more questions and, you know what I mean, just interviewed him a lot better. That would have helped me out too.
And you know, I think in that section, and we have a section on the course for qualifying the buyers. We talk about how to do that. You know, we talk about, you know, how to structure that interview process with them to verify whether or not they're the real deal or not, right? There's little things that you can do to help you not go through this situation. So just to kind of put it all together, really what happened with Zenobia is that a person responded to her. Did you send that out via Facebook, or how'd that buyer get a hold of you? Was it through text or?
No. I actually sent, he was a person that I took a real estate course with, and I was asking for advice. And he was purchasing properties back then, so I assumed that he would, you know, look into purchasing this. But instead, he was trying to basically either JV or get the deal from a under me.
So don't say this guy's name, but I've heard this guy's name multiple times, and no one ever has anything good to say about him. Once they do business with him, they realize, oh, I just got scammed. And it's a big part of this, you know, real estate investing community where, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of, you know, unscrupulous people out there that are doing deals like this. So what this guy tried to do essentially was like, you know, he's posing as a real buyer, but really he's wholesaling the property. And then he's collecting data. So this is what they do, right? They start collecting data. They go over there, no, I don't want to use your photos. I'm just going to use my own photos. Okay, well, that's a red flag, right? But then he starts collecting data. He starts talking to the seller. And eventually what happens, if you're not there and if you're not careful, they'll start talking money with your seller, and the seller just most of the time the seller, you had a very good seller, but most of the time the seller just wants to get the property sold, right? They have a problem, they just want to get it sold, and so a lot of times the seller will eventually tell them how much they want for the property, and they'll say, well, you know, Zenobia offered you, I don't know what you offered them, let's say it was $56,000. It's like, I'll give you $57,500, because it's better for them to pay $1,500 more than to joint venture with you and offer 50%, right? And so that's essentially what he was trying to do. And you know, because you built such a great rapport, your buyer was like, "No, we're not having it. We're not having it." So that process went on. How long from the start of that process to the time that you closed? How long was that process?
About 2.5, maybe 3 weeks.
About 2.5, 3 weeks. Now, and off of that deal, what did you make off of that deal? Your first deal, 2.5, 3 weeks. Let's just say 3 weeks. How much did you make in 3 weeks? $12,500 from the time that you started the course, the time we had that conversation, and 3 weeks later, $12,500 richer, right? And then tell them about the best part about that, because the 12.5 is great in 3 weeks, but tell them about the best part when you after your closing. What did your seller tell you at the closing table once you closed and actually successfully did what you said you were going to do?
My seller came to me and he was like, "Hey, you know, I love how you work. I have multiple properties that I would like to do the same exact thing with. I want you to come in and I want you to sell these properties for me." So not only did I sell that one property, in that same neighborhood, I've already sold 4 properties out of that neighborhood that belonged to that one seller. And I didn't even know it in the beginning that he owned those properties.
Yeah.
So that was the best thing for it.
Man, that's I love stories like that. I love stories like that because it's all about, it really is just about treating people right. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's, you need to know what you're doing, obviously, right? And I'm hoping everybody that's watching this is a good person. But Zenobia is a good person, so she just did what was natural. She just needed to learn the game. Once she learned the game, her natural self came out, and because of that, you know, good people recognize good people, right? So your seller recognized, okay, this girl, even though I only known her for 3 months or 3 weeks, you know, she did exactly what she said she was going to do. You know, she was honest with me. She's a good person. I want to continue to do business with good people. And so he gave you, you know, his portfolio for you to sell. And you sold another 3, you said 3 properties or 4 properties?
4.
Another 4 properties, totaling about how much? What would you say, you know?
Probably about 27, 20 or something like that.
Total. 27. And how long of a span did it take for you to sell all those 4 properties?
It's about 3 months.
3 months. So in 3 months, you went from not even knowing anything about the business to $27,000+. That's an amazing story. And then on top of that, what about your buyer for that first property? I remember you said.
My buyer, I work with that buyer still. That buyer buys a lot of my properties now, and that buyer actually referred me to other investors whenever she doesn't want, like say if she's not interested in that property, she actually sent me to other investors and said, "Hey, this is a great wholesaler. You know, she has great properties. She's not trying to get over and target her buyers." She actually referred me out to other investors.
Perfect.
In that area.
Treating people right. Treat people right. If you can make a lot of money, right, in wholesaling. You could probably have made $15,000 on that first deal, that $12,500, right? Mm-hmm. And you would have got that one deal done, and they might have not done business with you again, right? You could have tried to maybe even got more, right? But if you want to be in the business for a long period, you just do what's fair, you do what's right, make it a win-win-win situation for everybody, and then you're then you're able to do business, you know, for years to come versus just that one time, right? And man, I love stories like yours because not only did it help you put some money in your pocket, but I remember you were working. You're working at a place. I think you were working what, 3rd shift or 2nd shift or something like that.
Third shift. 3rd
shift, working overnight. You're a relatively new mom, right? You want to be around your kids, and you got to go to work in the middle of the night. And because of this opportunity, you no longer work there, right?
Nope. I quit that job. Because I was like, in a few weeks, I've made more in those few weeks than it took me like 6 months to make that same amount of money working double shifts in my job. So I said, this is done.
Working double shifts.
Right. I had to work double shifts to make that same amount of money. Like, I was through with it.
Man, I love stories like that. This is like what this community is about. This is what these true life stories are about. Excuse me, because there's going to be somebody that's watched this. They're going to watch this, you know, tomorrow or another day, maybe 5 years from now, and they're going to see this thing, and they're going to be wondering whether or not they can do it. They're going to be whether or not if a mom who's working third shift who has kids, they're going to be wondering, man, can this really be me? And your story is going to resonate with them. My story might not, right? But your story is. And so it's so important for us to get this stuff out and show this to people, that this is something that you can do, and you can do. Take some work. There's going to be some trials. There's going to be some problems. There's going to be some issues, but you can get this thing done. So what do you think when it comes down to, like what you learned, how the course was structured? I know you said when you first got into it, you were a little bit overwhelmed. You're like, man, this is a lot of information, but none of it is, I mean, you tell me, was it any of that wasted information? Was it like time wasted, or is it all stuff that's really important to learn how to wholesale?
It's definitely worth it. It's something that you just can't find. Like at first I was looking like on YouTube and Googling. It's stuff that you can't find just Googling. It's somebody who's walking it through step by step, video by video, and you're able to replay the videos, take notes easily. You know what I mean? That was the best part for me. It was, you did it step by step. That was my thing. You made it to where somebody like me can just rewind it. And I'm like, I got it. Take notes, move on to the next video. You gave us homework. That was another thing that helped me too. Even though it might not seem like a lot, but I actually went to Home Depot and went to, pricing. Okay, this is how much it might cost for a new bathroom, because this is how much a toilet costs. This is how much tile costs. This is how much this costs. That helped me with my repairs, so that it ties into how you do your numbers for your bill. It helped me in the long run. And I just like how it flows in order. It's not like all over the place. You can easily go and find, okay, I have a buyer now. Let me go to this buyer section right here and see what Tommy said to do about this buyer. Figure out what we need to do for a buyer. Best part about it. You know what I mean? And even it shows you how to like reinvest your money once you get it. Like I just love the whole course itself, and it was worth the money that I paid for it. Some people, they are skeptical about paying for something because they don't think it's worth it, but that is definitely worth.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I'm definitely happy that you feel that way about it. And it shows. Like, I mean, the return on investment is ridiculous. And so it's funny because almost everybody I talk to about the course, they always bring up the Home Depot little field trip.
That's the best part about it, because you can mess up your entire deal of not running good numbers because of not knowing how much repairs are going to cost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like the best part about it, that you gave us that, that option, that example to like go in there and get a feel for it yourself. Take your wholesale cap off and put your investor cap on, you know what I mean? And put yourself in their shoes. How much would you want to spend doing this house? Go through Home Depot, look, see what looks nice, figure that out, see how much it costs for this. That helped me out, definitely.
And that's really, it's really designed. So when I put that portion there, I literally did that myself, right? Actually, I still have my notebook to show the proof of it. But that portion can make or break a deal. So for people that have never wholesaled before, if you're watching this, there's a couple things that you need to know. You need to know the after repair value of a property. We need to know, once we fix it up and make it look like HGTV, how much could they sell it for? Okay. Then I need to factor in the profit margin that is typical for that particular area. And then I need to figure out how much it's going to cost to repair it to make it look like HGTV, right? And so certain people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, have you ever done like construction, or were you ever a contractor or anything like that? Right? Nothing like that, right? So it's built for people who don't know how much nails cost. Like that's literally how I broke it down. Like I don't even know how much it's going to cost for a toilet seat. How do I figure out, so when I walk into a house, I can feel confident and say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost to repair. So if you do the homework, if you're serious about this and you say, you know what, it'd be nice to make an extra $10,000 a month. If that's you, then this is it for you. This is the platform, because it really walks you through all that stuff. So it really amazes me that the more people I speak to that have been through the course, everybody brings up the Home Depot or Lowe's trip. Everybody brings up the same thing. So that's pretty cool. All right. So let me ask you. So now I know you're doing a couple things. You got some money. You start reinvesting some things. What's the future look like for you?
I'm gonna be a flipper. That's me right there. You're gonna see me on HGTV. Believe it.
Okay, I know I do believe it. I believe because number one, your work ethic is just phenomenal, and that's really what it boils down to. If you put in the work, you get the results. That's what I love about this business. It's like if you're not getting any results, you have nobody to blame except for you because
Right.
the process is proven. So you're on your way to becoming the next flipping queen. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Nice.
On the way. On the way.
All right, beautiful. So if you could give the people that are watching this, give them one thing that they must absolutely do or have, or a trait they must have, whatever you want, and then one pitfall that they should try to stay away from. What would those two things be?
Let's see. I think I think time management needs to be the best thing that they need to
That's
do.
a good one.
Time management. You know,
That's a good one.
I like the challenge you gave us, putting 20 hours into wholesaling.
Yeah.
And I think people, you know, when they're not seeing the money right then and there, they kind of like slack off and they don't put as much time into it. You get out what you put in. So I feel like if you put enough time into it, you know, you'll see the results that you're looking for. And I feel like what they should stay away from is trying to dump too much money into, you know, maybe marketing. I feel like if you do it, you know, in moderation, that would help, because I started off putting too much money into marketing, and, you know, I was making the same amount of money as, you know, making something at home, homemade stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that would help out with your that's where
Perfect.
That's where I'm with it.
That definitely good, wise words of advice for sure. All right. Well, I mean, this is going to wrap this thing up, man. Do you have any social media handles? If people have a deal and they want to send it to you, they want to joint venture with you, where could they connect with you at?
My Instagram is Zenobia Buys Houses. And if you have a deal, you can email it to me at levelupyourhome2@gmail.com.
Perfect. So if you guys, I'm gonna put that information down below. You can connect with her because this is all about connection, all about creating wealth for ourselves and our families. And Zenobia is the person you need to get to if you have properties that you need to move. She's the one that she'll get a move for you. So I really appreciate it, Zenobia. Thank you so much for taking your time out and just, you know, telling your true story here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Peace, everybody.
Listen, men lie, women lie. I get it, but the numbers don't. It's evident that the course works. The only variable is you. For once in your life, take a chance on yourself. It's free. You have absolutely nothing to lose. It's free. Go ahead and fill out the information. Man, so many people have doubted you. So many people have said that you can't do it. This is your time to prove them wrong, and it's free. Put your information down below, fill out the short questionnaire, and we are going to tailor a strategy session that's absolutely free to make sure that you can succeed. Take a chance on yourself. Do it now.